Hey guys, what's up? Playoffs are coming up for LCS, so it's time to play the three-word game again. Let's start in the usual order from top to bottom. Let's go! First up, we have Team Liquid, and my three words for them are Avenger level threat. They have best players in pretty much every single position. The only position you can really argue for is jungle, with Svenskeren maybe being better than Xmithy. But even then, that one's really close. They are favorites to win it by far. The only team that can really challenge them is C9. And even with that, Sneaky and Licorice don't look as strong as they used to, so yeah. TL was pretty good in the regular season, but expect them to kick it up a notch in playoffs and be even better. I just don't really see an outcome to this season other than Team Liquid winning it all. Second up, we have C9. For C9, you guys are always a bridesmaid. C9 is almost always part of the top teams. In their long tenure in LCS, it's really hard to find a year or even a split where they were bad. But since their original championship runs, they have never been able to hoist the LCS trophy again. Sure, they'll probably go to Worlds again this year, and maybe they'll even do better than TL at Worlds. And also, I'm very confident that they'll make finals. But once again, more likely than not, this team is going to come up just short and probably end up making second. I would love to see a different winner since we're about to have TL 4-peat, but I really don't see it happening, and C9's pretty much our only shot at it. Up third, we have CLG. For CLG, it's their return to glory. This is the best iteration of CLG in years. I can't remember a time where they've been relevant since they were able to beat TSM back in spring 2016. The final week for CLG wasn't that great. They lost to 100 Thieves and then they lost to C9 in the tiebreakers, but still they're a very formidable team with incredibly polished gameplay. They make very little mistakes overall, and their team fighting setup and how they do their vision control plus their macro is very clean. Everyone on this team has their job and they just do their job really well. They just function very well as a group. And Wiggly, I have to mention Wiggly. He is such a standout talent. We haven't had a new talent come into LCS and be this good in quite a while. I would say Viper was the last one, and he still didn't have the kind of impact that Wiggly did. Next up, we have my very favorite team, TSM. And the words I have for them is, this is fine. Summer for TSM has been interesting to say the least. Acadian brought them to finals, and then they lost a very close series to Team Liquid. Then, summer started with Acadian sharing a spot with Grig. This is fine. Then, they announced Acadian the starter. This is fine. But Spica ended up playing the last week. This is fine. Then Spica ended up on the starting roster for playoff with Acadian or Grig not even listed as subs. This is fine. Oh my goodness, TSM, what are you doing? This is only scratching the surface. Broken Blade no longer has great synergy with the jungler. Who was the jungler again? And Sven never mentally recovered from the infamous Skarner pull. Also, Andy's back to coaching. Oh my gosh, TSM. You will always be my favorite team, but you took everyone on a roller coaster ride for the final weeks of summer, and I have no idea how this is going to end. For Clutch, the words we have for them is, it's Tanner time. I don't know how they did it, but Clutch was able to clutch playoff. Seriously though, props to Clutch. Their solo lanes are always willing to risk the game on one play, and they do it with zero hesitation. If you are not a team good enough to kind of match up to their random and sporadic play, then you are going to lose to them. Most evidently how 100 Deeps lost to Clutch. Their bot lane has been quietly good. Cody and Vulcan have been a core reason why this Clutch team is able to win, even with sometimes Lyra and Huni and Demonte fucking up, because they're just extremely solid and they don't make a lot of mistakes and they slowly build their lead, and they're always relevant in teamfight. Also, Lyra's been looking much better with him starting to play around the solo lanes more, and it's given him more of an identity and he doesn't look as lost. Sadly, the only win they have against any other team in the playoff is the one versus Optic earlier in the season, so I just don't see them doing anything. Maybe they're going to give us more surprises and beat the struggling TSM. Oh my god. Please God, no. I don't even want to fucking think about that. Oh my god, if TSM loses to Clutch this weekend. Oh my god. Let's move on. Lastly, we have Optic, and the 3 words I have for them is a feel-good story. Optic is truly a feel-good story. Dokla was made fun of by myself and pretty much every other analyst. Now he's the big dokes in the top lane. Crown was a pickup out of nowhere that turned out to be one of the best pickups of this offseason, and Meteos is having an amazing season after the sudden release from 100 Thieves and FlyQuest. Optic was pinned for last by pretty much everyone and was sold in the middle of the season to Immortals, but they were still able to make playoffs. But that's what they are. They're just a feel-good story. They have very slim shot versus CLG. They're just way too uncoordinated and can't match up in the mid game. Also, they had an insane start to the season with a 4-0, but after that, they went 4-10 and were able to squeeze in through tiebreakers. Props to Optic for what you guys accomplished. You guys didn't have a lot of resource, but I really don't see them doing anything other than getting 0-3 by CLG. I'm sorry if this video is coming out a little late. It should be coming out on Saturday morning, so yeah, you guys probably don't have a lot of chance to maybe absorb the content before playoffs start, but I just had a lot of things going on, and my editor was still able to clutch it out, and it came out on Saturday, so just enjoy it, guys. One last thing, it really does help when you guys subscribe to me. I'm not going to tell you to comment and like and subscribe, so just subscribe. That's all I ask for. And for the real last thing, you know what's coming. I'm not crazy, I'm just Loco. Bye!